So,
all right, I got this.
You got it.
Don't ever. All right, so we're in the town, the small village of Wexford.
No, it's a big town.
The tiny village of Wexford.
It's a town.
And behind us, you can see
A crappie boy.
a rebel pikeman who fought against God and country and fought for Irish independence. What would you like to say about the place?
It's a nice big town. It's the biggest town in Wexford County, and yeah, this fella would have been called a crappie boy. He had a pike in his hand. They weren't really armed with much like modern technology when they were fighting this war, and that's kind of understandable as to see why they lost, unfortunately.
What do you want to say about the town?
The town of Wexford, yeah, it's a very busy market town. Still even to today, it's a great place to visit. Wexford really was a Viking town originally, so it was the Vikings who founded it, and even the main streets kind of share that kind of medieval flow to the town. It's not planned. The streets are all windy. All the shops mostly are independent, so it's kind of creates a nice kind of feel to the town. Good community here, friendly people, very friendly, and yeah, it's different to big city life in Ireland, so it's good.
So let's check out this small fishing village and see what it's all about. Small fishing village. Here in the village, because things are such in short supply in this rural village, they have secondhand shops to sell their things back into the community because they can't afford not to, you know. So there's hand-me-downs here for anchors and things that have been passed down generation to generation.
Even an old lobster pot.
Yep.
False teeth.
Yep, they have to reuse teeth. Who knows how many generations these people have been using these teeth to eat. But the people of Wexford, look, you can even see this is like a model of what the Wexfordians look like right here.
For fuck's sake. for fuck's sake.
For Fox's sake. For Green Fox's sake.
Come and buy something.
Everybody go to Steam and look up Green Fox. Add everybody you can named that. All right, so we're actually here at a place called Sharky's in Wexford Village. And he says this is possibly the best fish and chips in all of Ireland. And I'm gonna speak on his behalf and say maybe in the entirety of the British Isles, this is the best fish and chip shop.
Yeah, absolutely. Great fish and chips here. Come guys, this is a wonderful restaurant. A little takeaway fish and chip shop. Not healthy, but it's really amazing. They've got a traditional Wexford dish here called a rizzle. And it's like a fish cake.
For Rizzle?
For rizzle. For shizzle. A rizzle is a Wexford cake. They might give us one just to taste, just to try it out. And it's well worth coming in here.
All right, let's see if these fish and potato, or French fries actually, it's just French fries. Let's see if these fish and French fries are any good. All right, this is my freshly caught Wexford cod. And that is what?
Lemon sole.
A lemon with a lot of soul. But now they're dead and we're gonna eat them. So let's see how this actually tastes. Also, this is apparently an Irish thing. Oh, is it an energy drink? Okay.
Yeah, energy drink from
Okay.
British Isles, I guess.
All right, I'm gonna eat and drink as an Irishman might. All right, this thing is apparently called a rizzle, which I guess is local to this area. So I'm gonna take a bite into it and let you know what I think. Pretty good. It's a little bland, I'll be honest, but I think with some good sauce mixing, you can definitely add some flavor. I got a curry sauce, so I know everything will taste probably good. Probably just tastes like curry if you're eating curry. So that's my opinion on the rizzle. It's all right. A little flavoring, a little hot sauce. They didn't have hot sauce, but I definitely think hot sauce is good for this. Let me get a bit of fish for you. I'm gonna do it just the fish flavor. It's fried really well. I like the crispiness on the outside of the actual fish itself. So it definitely came out well. Give it a little bit of curry. Amazing. It tastes just like curry. All right, come and try it. The Irish potato. It's almost as good as an American potato. Almost.
So, Wexford's famous for potatoes and strawberries.
Who would have known? Ireland has potatoes.
These are Banno Bay potatoes. So they're like, this is where the Normans first landed. So nice potatoes here.
I thought you guys ran out of those a long time ago.
We found a
Isn't
way.
that why you all came to America or something?
Yeah, but we always find a way.
They always find a potato somewhere deep inside. Well, you used to be able to drive down the street. No, this is the village square, I think.
No, it's not actually.
This is the main drag. This is where all the shops are.
The main thoroughfare.
The main thoroughfare. You know, they always claim that America doesn't have culture, but look who's here appropriating. They steal our culture and then they insult us. Get your own culture, Ireland. Speak your own language instead of American. We're gonna go down this Norse road thing. I don't know what it is.
It's quite low.
Many an Irishman has laid foul to each other down here.
Watch your head. This is a regular street.
Watch your head there, then.
See the swallows nesting up there? They come all the way from Africa.
As have I.
And you can see that there's some
That-
messages left by people.
This, I believe, is maybe from the Vikings. This, I think, is maybe from the Norman invasion. This looks like modern Irish. I couldn't tell. Oh yeah, this is definitely from the British. So, very interesting. Very interesting to see how all their cultures came to make modern Ireland right here. So here behind me, there is a statue in this village of a man named John Barry. He is apparently one of the founders of the American Navy, and as an American Navy veteran, he definitely isn't one that is played up very much in our lore, but he apparently captured the first British ship of the Revolutionary War from the evil occupying colonizers, the British. And that's all I really know about him. He fought in several battles. He's in charge of several ships throughout the war, and he is definitively, according to Wikipedia, credited as one of the three fathers of the American Navy. The other one's a Scotsman, by the way. So, a real bad look on us all around. So, he's actually buried in Philly, maybe West Philadelphia. Born, maybe not born or raised, but buried at least. So, he's from Wexford. Body is in Philadelphia. And now he'll always be cursed to overlook the Irish coastline. So allegedly, the Normans that first came, right? You said it was the Normans first landed here. So when those Frenchmen came off of,
Came up here and came up the Banno Bay.
they came up this bay with one goal in mind: to civilize. And I'd say, looking around now, partially successful. So this part, there's actually a little bit of a story, a little thing about the Quaker community that actually existed here for a very short amount of time, I'd assume. What?
They're still here.
They're still here?
Yeah, of course.
All right, they've got Quakers in here. They make Quaker oats or something. This place was called St. Patrick's Church. It does not exist anymore, unfortunately, but it's also closed, which is really unfortunate. It's actually even overgrown, which is a little bit of a shame, but there's a guy here who tortured people, and I guess he's probably the one who destroyed the building. You're the one who read this.
Most likely, yeah.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Sorry.
So walking through the village, you can see behind me all these houses, which I think are pretty typical of what buildings like the average home looks like kind of nationwide. It's in like built up areas, obviously. Farmhouses in towns would be a little bit different, how their communities are set up and structured, but they're still pretty interesting to look at. They're very different than what you'll see in most US cities to, you know, a certain extent. We don't really build so close together generally, but this is a pretty nice place, I'd say. We're just kind of speculating, but I think that might be like a convent for nuns or something like that, or maybe just other members of staff for this beautiful church right here behind us. So we're gonna try to go inside here, take a little look, see what it looks like inside. Probably not talk to anybody, but we'll show you what we can anyways. Hopefully it's open. Yeah. Not a lot of things have been actually here in this town, village, or whatever you'd like to refer to it as. So let's see. So before we're even entering, something that's extremely cool to me is this this altar here was actually taken from a Knights Templar location in the 1800s. They moved it here, which is really cool. So there's like a small like Crusader connection with this place to actually be used by the Catholic Church. Very, very cool. First thing I think I've ever seen in my life that's actually been like real Knights Templar related thing. Yeah. And I actually got to touch it, so that's very cool. So now we go inside. So luckily I don't have to be whispering like I do in most of these churches because it is totally empty. First thing you'll notice, a good old Mr. St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland. He got rid of all the toads and the frogs, which I'm sure did horrible ecological damage to the country.
Snakes.
Snakes and the toads.
We still have frogs.
Oh, really?
We don't have toads.
So toads and snakes, he drove them from the country, destroyed the ecosystem. Thankfully, it's recovered to some extent. Oh, sorry. But this is an extremely beautiful stained glass window. What's the story? It looks like it's Jesus, Mary. He's not on the cross, so I don't know if it means a specific time. No?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
I think it's just a representation of Jesus after ascending to heaven because he is with angels. So.
Yeah, and he has the stigmata there too.
And the one thing I always like to show when I go to Catholic churches is they do have the Stations of the Cross, not in the windows this time. It is on an independent stand. And a very beautiful organ. One of the nicest I think I've seen, in my opinion. And I can't really make out what it says on them, but I will zoom in, and maybe you can. Oh, it's got like the shamrock. Very nice. So behind me, there's yet another very large, beautiful church here in the village of Wexford. And this one is designed actually by the guy who made Big Ben, which is pretty interesting. Apparently his wife was from around here. She's from this county, so he ended up designing several churches for them. And you have anything you want to add? He's itching to talk about this guy for whatever reason.
Yeah, Pugin's really interesting character. You should look him up. He, born in England, he was a Huguenot, but he was born in London, came over here, and from a very young age, he was designing churches in his 20s. So like he had a very big career. He was Catholic, so not really very popular with the establishment in England, but he did design Protestant churches too. But the sad thing was, even with the buildings he designed, he wasn't even invited to the opening of them, even though he designed them. So unfortunately, he died when he was in his 30s. Pugin went to Bedlam in England, so that was the kind of the insane asylum, sadly, and that's where he ended up dying, unfortunately.
And actually, all over Ireland, there's places that the original plans of them were switched with ones for India. This being one of them. This was supposed to be built in India.
That's a common urban myth.
So this is originally meant for India.
Yeah, no.
1868. This is post-American Civil War.
opened its doors in 1858.
1858.
Yeah.
Before construction finished.
Oh, dimensions are identical to both church, another church in County Wicklow. So he did do other churches that were kind of. We'll read this later.
They both must have got the Indian plans then.
Over each other. You can see the tile. That's
Peter likes this tile.
typical tile. Yeah.
This church is a bit different than the last one because it is made by the Franciscan order. It actually looks really beautiful at the front. I'm gonna go up to the very front to show you guys because it looks kind of like a castle almost that they've built to represent something.
You've got apostles and saints underneath in there. So.
Oh, I don't think you can go up there.
Well, you can genuflect and go up. So.
But yeah, this is really cool. I've never seen one like stylized like this to kind of look, obviously it's not meant to look like a castle, it's meant to look like a church, but it's very, very beautiful, very like intricate and very nice to look at. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It goes really well with this. Obviously this one is a little bit more obvious what it is compared to the last one, because this is obviously just Jesus with a bunch of saints.
And you can see your Gothic arches there, so this is why I call it Neo-gothic. So it's not Romanesque, it's not round at the top, but it's pointed, and that gives that structural strength.
Yeah. So, I think, which one did you prefer of the two?
Maybe it was the way the light was going into the last one, but you can see even the organ is exactly the same. Actually.
Oh wow!
So
yeah.
it's almost symmetrical. So
fair point.
We're going into a church that is almost a twin of the other church, in fact. And it's quite confusing in Wexford because we got a bit lost. We were thinking we were going to that one church, and then suddenly the steeple keeps moving around, but in fact, it's two churches. Same height.
So this church is actually a little different than the other ones because this is a Church of Ireland church, meaning it's not actually Catholic. It's a type of Protestantism, I guess. It's left over and is still semi-common in especially this part of Ireland. So let's have a look inside.
And actually, for those of you who know Mr. Bean, that's the theme tune to Mr. Bean with Rowan Atkinson, the old BBC comedy.
Well, one thing my Irish friend here pointed out is that before the camera was running, is that it's much more modest, a much more humble people, the Church of Ireland.
And if you notice that there's cushions on the seats, and that's a very different thing to the Catholic churches. The seats are more comfortable.
There's also no pews, you might notice. And there is these weird dividers. I don't know what that's for.
Often maybe the men and the women, perhaps.
I'm not going to make that assumption. I definitely don't want to say that. There's actually a thing here for people who fought and maybe even died in the First World War on behalf of their country. And then even the Second World War, which is a little more interesting because Ireland was totally separated from the United Kingdom by then. But these guys were in the Irish Guards. So they were so loyal, they were willing to go back and fight for Britain, even post-independence. These people are heroes.
There's people here.
Yeah, that's fine. He's a good Protestant man. I don't have to worry about being rude because he's nice. Actually, these guys ended up using some artillery shells left over from the Second World War as their donation box, which is extremely cool. These people are obviously much more innovative and, resourceful. They use things that give them a unique flavor, but in a modest way. Totally unbiased.
This is a nice shot.
I just wanted to show the street because I thought it was pretty impressive on the way in.
A good introduction if you want. You want me to fill it for me?
There's actually huge mounds of crabs here, which is cool. Smells very fishy, and some crab traps. But, over here, Peter, I think that's going to be about it from us here in the village of Wexford. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I've been informed that this is actually a town.
Yeah, you got that wrong a little bit. Hopefully you can edit town into where you say village every time.
So, arguably not a village. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.